Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
Hello and welcome to Marty, and thanks for coming, Marty.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
What did you bring for us today, Marty?
I brought 2 replies. The thing is, I don't really have that many of them saved, but I brought 2 replays. The first one with 390105 on Paris, because I think that it's pretty interesting to have a light tank on a city map, which is, like, in my opinion, widely considered pretty bad as a map.
Yeah, it's a bad map. Annoying map.
Yes, definitely. And the second one is with Object 430 that I recently got and tried to free market, and it was a pain in the ass. So yeah.
Do you like the 1305?
In my opinion, it's the only tier 10 lighting that it's somewhat, usable on the randoms. I mean, you could have an argument of the Russian lighting because of its camo, but
It's also funny to drive the Russian, though.
it's true, but I need and like my tanks to have firepower, and I feel like this is the only one of the tier 10 light that have some things like that.
Yeah.
So I like it, but at the same time, if I would have to choose, I would still pick the bad jet over this.
And you couldn't push the JP away.
I tried.
Stuck. Yeah, gave it a good shot.
So it's
So
just
did-
like, I kind of like this replay because in my opinion, it shows how you should play a light tank in this map, even though it's pretty hard. I feel like you can see me being a little bit confused right now, because that's the thing on Paris. I feel like there's just no room for your initiative to take on the map, because obviously you can't fight the heavies face to face. And if you want to go on the right flank on like the field or whatever that is, there's just like so many people camping it back. So whenever you try to cross, you just get fucked there. So
You also
that's the
got
thing.
the 31390, so the field is definitely gonna be a pain.
Yeah, but luckily for me in this game, the initiative was taken by the other team, so I could just actually, like, let's say, defend a little bit. And the funny thing is, just look at the RU on like a G4. I got no idea how he got there. It's just like I don't even know.
Well, it's what you call overextending, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's done right now pretty much. So
Maybe he thought he could get behind him and get a little bit sneaky shots in, but
and the thing is, with RU, you have no cover of concealment. You don't have an outloader. There's not so much you can do. And right now, I was like, okay, I gotta do something, because I hate, and in the whole World of Tanks game, doesn't really matter what tank I'm driving. I hate when I have to be the one to wait for the enemy to make plays and to make mistakes. I hate to, so that's why I don't play like TDs or whatever,
so
because I just hate
you're
it.
not
So
very patient player.
no.
No.
Totally not. And
No.
I like to be the one that actually controls the pace of the game. And even though it wasn't really me, it was more of the lightweight that took out the E50, but I was still like, okay, he's probably not gonna peak. And as you said, I'm not a patient player, so it's not gonna take me long, and I will actually try to cross this, even though there's the Skoda and whatever. So I just try to, I knew that the 140 is gonna be occupied by somebody else. And by the way, here you can see one of the biggest flaws of this tank, apart from the gun, is the gun elevation. It's just so annoying.
It's really bad. It's really bad, but besides that, it's a really nice thing, I think. But yeah, no elevation at all.
There's 2 things that I really dislike about this tank, and it's the elevation and the accuracy of the gun. The gun just like trolls you so much in this thing. And there's nothing you can do. And like shots on 200 or 300 meters plus, there's almost no point in tagging them. It's just like pure RNG. There's not even point for you to try to aim them or whatever.
I heard the impression about this gun that it goes all French of you.
Yeah, totally.
That I heard a few times at least. Ooh, a Yak Tiger. He's in a pretty strange position, the Yak Tiger, though.
Yeah, the Yak Tiger kind of boosted the damage output of this game. Yeah, this is one of the things. I mean, the shot was tricky even before that I tried to fire it, but it doesn't even hit the tank, you know, so.
No.
And basically what I did right now is, this seems kind of risky, but you can see on the minimap that the Skoda is like a lot, you know, behind. And I don't know if you have it enabled, but I play with the notification of who shoots you with what ammo. And the
Yes.
Skoda shot me with premium APCR. And the Top Gun on the Skoda doesn't have premium APCR. So I knew that he doesn't have the Top Gun. And that kind of helped me to do this.
And you just killed the Yak Tiger. Very nice.
So this game right now, it seems, I think, a little bit lost because we don't really have that much map control. We have the Death Star just doing kind of nothing. And I don't know, you can kind of question this decision if it's good or not to go after the Skoda, but I felt like because of the positions of my tanks and the enemy tanks, there's not really that much space for me to do some moves. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the Skoda because he doesn't have the Top Gun, and then I'm gonna fall back basically to help my teammates.
Also, I don't think you want him to come in behind you if you go another place all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean,
I would go for the Skoda too, to be honest. But
yeah, the 3105 is, and this is just like, he makes mistake, you know. And I
Yeah.
kind of did as well. I probably shouldn't have taken this shot, and it would kind of help me because right now I'm a one shot for the two tanks, the tier 9 and tier 10, and 2 shots for the 1390. But as you will see that I'm gonna manage. And this is like, this game, it kind of all fell into the right place in terms of like, I could, as you could see, I could almost every time put more than one shot into the tanks that I was shooting at. This was just unfortunate on the
yeah, it was
E34.
unfortunate on E4. Yeah,
That
was
should
the
have
gun we
banned.
talked about. Yeah.
That should have been. But still, I almost always had a chance to put like 2 or 3 shots from the clip on basically everyone that I was engaging. So that was good. It's not really like that, and that's the one thing that the 13105, in my opinion, is like more hard to manage, especially if you compare it with the Batchet, for example, because you have just 3 shots and you usually don't ban 3 of them. It's just almost never happening. And
Yeah, you don't have the clip potential either.
yeah, and then you will then you have to think all the time if the 2 shots, if you miss the first one, if the 2 shots are worth to keep or not. And that's like, here I just tracked him because I saw the WZ is coming. Obviously he hit a repair kit, but I didn't know. I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't, or I will just track him the next shot, and then he won't have the repair kit. So that's why I put the 3rd shot into the tricks, and I would still have just the 1. So there was no place, no point in keeping.
Ooh, that's a 1390.
Yeah, and this is like a little bit of a lucky shot because this gun usually doesn't hit those. So
Usually, when we talk about luck with Super Unicums, there is no such thing as luck. It's all skills.
yeah, I wish it could be like that, but we all play the same game, and
Yeah, I know.
yeah, a lot of people basically there was like a rumor in Czech community and on forums that I have like like rigged account, basically, that my account has a better RNG. So
Really?
yeah, and it actually, there are a lot of people that took that seriously, and they were actually blaming me for showing them not the actual experience of the game, because they felt like betrayed that when they were watching my streams or my videos, they thought that the game is like that easy, and then they played it and they start to complain about bad RNG or something. So you never know.
It says something about the players, not you. And the result, Marty?
Okay, so the result, it was obviously masked, like the, how you call it, asynchro, yeah. 250 base XP, 5 kills, 6,742 damage, and basically no assist. Yeah, actually no assist whatsoever. So this is how you play light tanks. I think that with the 13105, I actually do have lower assisting damage than with the tier 10 mediums. Like,
But
basically
you did your best. You spotted the crossing, so I mean,
yeah, I did.
like you didn't spot anything.
Not my fault that nobody shot it, right? 92,000 credit profit, but it was with just it was with personal reserves bonus, so 80,000 gross profit from this game.
Good game.
Sorry, net profit. That's the thing.
And the next replay, Marty?
So the next replay is the Object 430, which was considered kind of like a hipster tank. Not really that many people played it, and there's a really good reason why they didn't. I'm not really sure how the gun behaved in this game, but in this, I mean, the particular battle, but the gun is just complete utter shit. Because the thing is, it's not so bad if it would be hitting for 390. But it just hits for 320, and that's the biggest flaw of this thing, because the gun handling is comparable to, let's say, 1-to-1 or STB, and
is it that bad?
so, yeah, it's really bad. At this battle, I was still carrying the rations, the premium food, but I had to drop it afterwards. I tried to free market this thing, basically. That's why I was playing it, and obviously I bought it because of the next patch when it's gonna be switched, and you will get the other medium for it. But basically the thing is, they didn't. At one point in time, they changed the fuel tanks, like the hit points of the other mediums, like 140 and 62A. So they just don't burn as much because the hit points are just more like, they have more hit points. But on this tank, they probably haven't done that. And let's say in 100 battles, I had like 30 to 40 fires.
Really?
It wasn't even that weird to get 2 fires in 2 shots. So I was like, set on fire once and then next shot again. So that's why I had to drop the food. And obviously the food helps you a lot with gun handling. So, so yeah, in this battle, it's maybe won't look as bad, but yeah, it's pretty shit. So the tank basically for me just doesn't have anything going for it. The armor doesn't really work. You have overmatched turret, and yeah, I don't know. I just hated that tank, but I wanted to 3 market.
Did you manage to 3 market?
I actually managed, but after 280 games or just some like really bad number of games. It took me so long.
Fully tilted.
So much. I was tilted so much from playing this thing. I would much rather mark WZ 5A again, or I don't know, even 907, whatever. That playing this thing was a pain, like really a pain.
Yeah. I have to ask you something. That defender that was a fan of yours, what does couscous mean? Because it means something here.
Couscous?
Yes.
Did somebody say it in the chat, or why do you ask it?
You wrote it.
Oh no, yeah, I mean choose. Oh, it's choose.
Choose. Okay.
It's from basically. It's like in German. In German you have it well, right?
Yeah.
As well. Choose. So it's the same. It's like a greeting. Hi, hello.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. You decided to go back into the middle here?
Yeah, because in this map, that's one of the things that I just don't really like it. If you win the upper flank, like the northern flank, then there's not really that many reasons for you to go like straight into their base, because there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 TDs camping there. So what I feel like is better to do is just to go here and farm the tanks that are trying to push the water. And obviously sometimes this happens, so they push it, like they just do a counter push if there's anyone, and so that's what happened here, and I just went to help there.
Can you tell me how they get the patience to stand down there in the TDs and wait the whole game?
I got no idea. I got totally no idea. I always wonder how it's even
how that
possible
works.
for the people.
It must be so boring.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, if somebody was sitting there, and there probably is, because there's still a UDES and the WZ that weren't spotted in this game, so there's like 90% chance that they are sitting there. They actually didn't have a single shot this game. They couldn't shoot at anything.
No.
Up until this point. So at least 4 minutes in the game, they didn't do anything whatsoever. And basically right now the game looks pretty dire. We are losing 4-8. And what obviously happens is that our tanks got surrounded.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time until they get destroyed. And then there's the other bench. So basically right now it looks really bad. And by the way, I just want to mention the Skoda T50. He's gonna play a big role in this game. And luckily, or like just coincidentally, he's my subscriber, and he's like, a regular visitor of my Twitch channel. Which is kind of funny.
Nice.
Which is kind of funny. So, I was after this game, you will see why. I was like a little bit proud of the fact that people from my channel helped me with the game. So
Definitely.
it's 6:11 right now, and what I feel that on this map, this base is kind of like could be well defended, or
You
the
actually
possibilities of
bounced it
defend
very
this base are pretty good because you have these shots. Like you are in hull down here, and they are more or less on an open field, and you can shoot them. So that's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to go 0 in on with 5-second reload, so.
Yeah, this is the if you can manage to shoot at like let's say not at this OHO, this game the gun behaves quite well, at least up to this point. But with this tank, if you can manage to shoot at like 100 or 200 meters, then it's alright because then you can use the TPM. By the way, here I was lucky. The E4 shouldn't have ever bounced me. Yeah. This is where the luck comes into play because this was just pure luck. I didn't even have a clue about the E4 at all. So I kind of got my karma here because obviously the IS-3 shot me. And right now we are losing by 6 tanks, and you can just look. I mean, like I have 1,000 health, and they are just swarming our base basically. Here you can see the Skoda.
3.5k behind as well, so.
Yeah, here you can see that the Skoda, he managed to kill the Batchat, and then I'm falling basically to him. So we are at least two of us. I know that he's an autoloader. Maybe if I can like track a guy for him, or just scope over him, or take a hit for him. So basically, what we should do right now, basically what he says right now in the chat is like we are fucked, and I'm saying mega ass. So. And yeah, there it is. He's clipping the FV. The FV shot him, which was unfortunate, but he still managed to clip him, which was really needed because of the reload of the FV, he would probably be able to put a second shot into him and kill the Skoda. So right now, the SURV went completely, for some reason, he went completely off and to the enemy's base. I don't know why.
I don't think he knows either.
And this looks like so fucked right now, but we will manage. I will put a shot into the UDES, and the Skoda is clipping him. I'm gonna help him.
Nice.
And what they did wrong in this game, the enemy team, is just like, for a long time they only had one guy in cap. They should have put 2 of them like long ago. And the STRV actually is doing something meaningful, and he killed the WZ in the middle, and right now it's 8 seconds. It seems like it's lost. I get shot from the E4, but I managed this decap. And again, Skoda helps me. He kills the E4. And he decaps the other guy. I think it was just a shot into the tracks on the M103. This looks bad. I don't roll the IS-3. He's trying to find a shot on me, but I think he either didn't have a gun pressure. I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, it looked like you should have been pretty dead there.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but actually I survived. There's still 2 tanks in the gap, but we have time right now. We still have 19 seconds, 17, and obviously it's pretty bad because the OHO can just splash me if he has a derp gun.
Yeah.
So I have to be pretty careful. I paused it with the heat. It's kind of unfortunate.
Oh, you got him the second time. Oh, he was the cap pointer.
Yeah, and then the M103, he's like in a pretty bad spot right now. That's kind of unfortunate. But obviously, as you can see, no matter what he does, the second he watches me, and we are, and he says fuck yeah, and I'm saying, oh man, you are a god, and he's like, oh yeah, you are too. And what I'm saying is, we have to play together because we are both one shot, and one of the defender is a Czech guy as well, and he's like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? And what I'm saying is, okay, so I could die and you will clip him, and he says, I'm loading heat. So we basically carried this just by 2 of us. As it is
good teamwork.
Yeah, the teamwork is good. As it is in every other like really good game, or like I consider this, I mean, I don't have, as you can see, I don't have like that much damage, but I really like this game, like these clutch moments, because I feel like in World of Tanks you don't really get that many of them. Usually games last like 5 minutes and they are like 15-5 stomps, let's say most of the time. So I feel like I really cherish those games, even though I don't have the biggest number of damage, but if you can manage to get out of a situation like this, I really like it. So,
But he took out the whole team almost, 2 guys just by teamwork.
yeah.
So it's really good.
And so it's only the lava. I mean, it still could be a problem if I die somehow and he won't be able to trade the damage afterwards with his clip. It still could be a lose if the lava will play it correctly. So I was like, okay, let's just go together and see what happens. I mean, he could be basically anywhere. He could be on the peninsula. He could be up there above the base. There's just so many places for him to be.
If he's hold down, is a pretty big problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you would be cherry picking here, then I think that what we should have done is to split up right now, and one of us to go, from the upper side. But it would take time, and as I said before, I'm not a patient guy. So, okay, so he basically he got spotted here.
I don't know if he did the right thing, but he's at least kind of hold on.
Yeah, I think he has, but I don't trade. They're probably would be better positions for him. And right now it's good. I mean, I'm waiting, and right now I'm saying in the chat that we have time, and for him, and it really will look like I'm baiting him just to get the damage. But the thing is, I'm telling him to go all the way around from the upper side. And I was saying it would be really, really unfortunate, if he would fuck up this battle. And obviously, I didn't know that, but after you say it in like 10 seconds, I'm gonna be able to spot him throughout these bushes here at the rock. So it's gonna happen probably right now. Right now, I shouldn't be putting those trees down, but
no,
it doesn't really have a clue. But anyway, I spot him. There's a double bush. I just like. Do a snapshot, which are obviously then I just wait for both of us to get unspotted. I wait a little bit more so he won't blind fire the bush, and yeah.
There you go. Goodbye, Löwe. Well played. And the result, Marty?
So yeah, the result was first class mastery match. It actually wasn't an ace tanker. Don't know why, but probably not enough damage. I didn't have any spotting whatsoever, so that's maybe it. 7 kills, 5,836 damage done. And we were there with the Skoda. 4 of our tanks did nothing. The tier 8s and 9s, they had 0 damage. And I had, as I said, 5,800, and the Skoda as well. He had 5,818 damage. He had 4 kills, and I had 1,194 base XP. That's why it wasn't an ace thinker. And the Skoda had 1,378. So he probably did have an ace thinker, I don't know. But basically we just carried the game just by ourselves.
Very good game.
Yeah.
I always ask people for the best advice to the common plebs like myself, how to play better. I'm gonna ask you too, Marty.
I think it's like a pretty complex answer to that question. There's just not one thing, but for me, what helped me the most at the start, like let's say in my first 5,000 battles, is that I learned about the game as I played. And what I did, for example, was if I get stunned by one tank or just somebody killed me and I didn't know why it happened or like misjudged a reload, then I would just go and I would just look up the tank's reload, for example. And let's say in my 8 or 10k battles, I already memorized all the reloads or the alpha damages, not really like the view ranges, but I really knew a lot about all the tanks, not only about the tanks that I drove, but even about the tanks I was facing. And I feel like it's really cool if you can manage that, and you can, for example, one thing that the common plebs or like plebs, the average players don't usually do, they just don't trade damage effectively because they just don't know these things. If you would want to trade damage effectively, you would probably have to know the reloads and the alpha damages of tanks, if it's beneficial for you or not. And most players just, that's the thing, that they just don't have the time to memorize it, or they just don't have the will or whatever. So this helped me a lot. And obviously reading the minimap, like if it's beneficial for you to stay on that position and try to fight, or if you should fall back. And a lot of unicums say that it's the virtue of the game that just for me, I definitely didn't master it. And there's just like, in my opinion, there's just like few people on the EU server that does that properly. Usually Deca is one of them, Mail and maybe Nile, for just from the people that stream, obviously. And
Yeah.
it's the virtue of balancing the passiveness and the aggressiveness. It's just like so hard. But for an average guy, it's really hard, even for me, and I have like 50k battles. So if you can manage to understand in what situation you should be pushing and in which situation you should be falling back, then you probably master the game. If you can do it like 9 times out of 10 correctly.
Sounds like very good advice, Marty. Thanks a lot. All should, of course, go watch Marty's stream and also his YouTube channel. I'll put them at the bottom. And thanks a lot for coming, Marty.
Yeah, thanks. It kind of took us a long time to actually arrange this, but I hope that it's gonna be good for you. And I'm gonna promote obviously this video and your channel as well. So thanks for having me.
English one or the Russian one, but man pulled up in the German one. 2 4 4s in a 4-door truck. There's one on the right, on the left. There's one. We don't wait